We're now on to the quilting of this City Lights quilt, and I am not 100% sure just yet of what I want to do with it. I wish I had a pantograph already that was kind of this like atom kind of look with the science. Maybe I should look into that because I mean my sister is a physics major and science involved, and her husband is in mathematics, so maybe it makes sense to have some sciencey kind of pantograph on my machine, but I don't know. We'll see, and I'm not sure what thread color yet. So obviously we're hitting this really good, and I know I am gonna go get some Kona for the backing with this quilt, and as well as the ones that are coming up. There's a good chunk of Buzz Lightyear themed ones, and my bigger pieces I've used up for previous backings, so now I'm on to the point where I don't have much backing fabric left. Luckily, it is not no buy January anymore. We are well past that, so I am good to buy stuff. Don't tell my wedding budget that. But I think what I want to do is, I think I'm going to go for a gray backing just because it's going to be very neutral and it's going to work well across. I've got, this is my binding as well. And I quilted a quilt for somebody and bought more of this thread. Well, I bought the thread not knowing I already had an entire spool of it. And it's this like limey green, it's called Limerick from Glide. And so I'm gonna check it out, see how well it looks in there, because that may be what I'm quilting all these Buzz Lightyear quilts that are coming with, because he's obviously got his green on him. Fingers crossed it matches, because I've got 2 spools of it. So I'm gonna take this to the shop with me, see what gray looks good, and then we'll be back to load on the long arm. Everything's all basted in, and so it's all ready to quilt. I think I'm gonna give this loop-the-loop one a try on this one. I'm shocked as far as something that I think is gonna look good that I haven't done before, so we're just gonna do the loop-the-loop, hope for the best, and here's a peek at this Limerick thread. So let's hope that this doesn't get too wild, but we're gonna commit to it, so let's get to work. So here's first look, and the green actually looks really good on here. It's not aggressive at all, and it's on its white, and it blends into this here, and I actually really like the loop, so obviously I'm going to keep going with it. No point in ripping it out now, so time to move on to the next zone and continue on. Made it to the bottom, and let me tell you, I got a little risky this time, and when it came to piecing it, my issue was not on the sides as usual, but here's the bottom of my quilt, and then here's my leader. So I only gave myself 2 inches total to have extra for my length of my quilt. So that's usually where I do like to have more, just in case this grows out as it goes down. Yeah, that was a little risky. So it's time. I'm going to cut this off because Trixie's going to want to eat it, as you can tell by her hanging out down here. And then go trim this up and put some binding on, and then it'll be all done. How exciting is that? It's now time for the reveal of the City Lights quilt top, and dun, da, 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 here it is. So with how stark the white was at first, I feel like the green quilting really just kind of sets that off and kind of detracts a little bit, or takes away, not takes away, hides some of my blocks lining up, because I don't know what happened. It might have been my lack of ironing probably my lack of ironing of my fabric before I cut it to kind of have things skew a little bit, but I mean, it all turned out a good size. It all turned out the right size. So let's see. I'm 5'11", so it comes up to me right about there. So good little lap quilt. I would say good average lap quilt. It's not really little, but it's a good size for anybody who likes their Buzz Lightyear, whether boy or girl. Our Sacramento Kings here have purple as their color, so men's basketball team can have purple too, so any boy can have purple on their quilt. I think the binding turned out super fun, just kind of framing it up there, and my little fussy cuts with Buzz Lightyear in my corners turned out quite nice. A little charging in there. And then, so here's kind of a peek at the piece backing. Nothing super fancy, I just wanted to use a chunk of this purple, and there is plenty of it, even though I played a little risky with my sizing, but I did it. And the loop pantograph just looks so good on there. Again, I like the green. Turns out, as we've found out so far, Limerick from Glide is the perfect Buzz Lightyear green. So I still think that I'm going to continue it on with the rest of the Buzz Lightyear quilts that I do. So let's go ahead and do a quilt drop. 2 thumbs up for this pattern. So let's reveal it and be on to the next one.